Ah, standby days, right? Those days where you can spend 8 hours watching Netflix or do phased array in the bathtub of the hotel. Let's get started. Welcome to my office for today, which is actually just the hotel bathroom. And if you're going to do phased array in a hotel bathroom tub, you got to be real careful you don't scratch anything. So let's see what we've done. Here we've got a flaw spec 3/4 inch flaw specimen, and thank you, Dan Cartwright, for the drawing for that. And hey, thanks, Dwight Newell, for the magnetic ruler. We've got a gyro scanner and a 32 element probe, and to keep everything off the surface of the tub, I've taken all the foam out of that plastic box, so now it's just empty plastic, and it's just resting there. And don't you worry, that's not rust, that's just dried old yellow couplant. Here's the data on the Veo. This is the SKU90 data, and this is an extraction cursor. When I first got my Veo, I said, where are the true depth gates? I should have like a red line here and another red line there, and I should be looking at everything between those. Maybe that's gate A and then 2 green lines for gate B. An extraction cursor is actually sort of the same thing. We have a line here and a line here that form the gate in between those two, but we also have lines on either side that allow us to gate things or kind of ignore things that are outside the box. And here you see in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, I've got S, top, and an A. So this is our S scan. That's our top view, our N view, and our A scan. And the way the top view works is that it's basically a view of the entire scan through the top of this box. So if I make the box narrower, you'll notice that the top view here will sort of shrink a little bit as I do that. And then the end view is a view this way through the length of the scan. And if I take the, let's take our scan cursor here and we'll move through the weld. You can see here down, we've got something going on over here. We go over to this area, and if I zoom in, say on the S scan, get a little better view here. You can see that we've got a little bit of IP here in the middle of the weld. And then we'll use the scan cursor and we'll move over here. And of course, as we're moving through the weld, you're always sort of competing with this cap geometry over here, right? So that's going to show up on both of these images. So as I move the scan cursor across, we've got something else going on over here. Now we can't trust this SKU for this indication because the sound has to go straight through the cap up here. So I know there's something there, I just can't really characterize it right now. And then we go over here, we've got a little something else happening again on the bottom. Now this is the neat thing about the extraction cursor, what I'm going to show you right now. If I take the cursor and I shrink the box, I'm going to shrink the box this way, I'm going to take the right hand side of the box and move it this way, we're actually going to be able to ignore the cap geo that happens here and here. And watch what happens on my top and end views when I shrink the box. Okay, I'll just sort of slowly move that over. Especially watch this one down here, the end view. I'm going to clean that up. And all of a sudden, all my cap geo disappears. And now I can pay attention to only the indications that are showing up on this side of the weld, down here in the end view. It's completely cleaned it up. And we know that we're just going to isolate this thing here. Now to analyze whatever these two things were on the other side of the weld, we're going to look at the SKU270 file. Here we've got the SKU270 file, and again there's my extraction box, and on the top view you can see everything's kind of smashed together. We do see the 1, 2, 3 indications. We can see them also again on the end view, but we do have some competing cap geometry. You see this line across here on the bottom. That's of course the cap geometry from the corner of the bottom of the weld. Bottom of the weld. So what I'm going to do is the same trick. I'm going to take the extraction cursor, I'm going to shrink the left-hand side of this and move it over and try to ignore things over here that I don't want to see. Now take a look at the end view down here and watch how that cleans up real nice. Okay, we're just going to move this over and you're going to see that cap geo kind of start to disappear, and it becomes really, really easy to identify our flaws. And then of course we can then go and change the shape of the box even further and clean that up. And there's really no mystery now as to exactly what's going on in this weld. It's really cleaned things up. We've got a great view of this one, and this one. And if I use my scan cursor and we move over, we can see there's a little bit of IP here. I've got the signal here, and if I sort of zoom out on my S-scan here, you can see the indication at the top in the first leg even. And then if we go back and we'll move the scan cursor over to approximately the middle of the weld, You can see that we've got a little indication up here. This is at the ID near side toe on the SKU 270 side. That's a little bit of surface breaking lack of fusion. And if I move over just a little bit more, you can see there's two little tips right here and an indication that's actually a little tiny bit of side wall lack of fusion. The extraction cursor for me makes everything so much easier for phased array analysis. Thanks for joining me for this really low rent video this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.